Get back, you!
Suicide, tragedy and poltergeist await the most haunted team in Nottinghamshire.
What's happening again?
Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. The building behind me dates back to 1156 and has seen its fair share of tragedy, from murder to suicide. The bubonic plague ravaged this area in the 14th century, and many of its victims are buried in the church grounds next door. So with such a rich history of pain and death, it's no wonder that so many ghosts roam Annesley Hall.
Lying 13 miles north of Nottingham and against the backdrop of Sherwood Forest, this Grade II listed building is now just a shadow of its former self. William the Conqueror first bestowed the hall to a fellow Norman, and a succession of lords has since followed, including a notable connection to a legend of literature, Lord Byron. The village that once stood nearby was demolished late in the 19th century, and having left family hands in 1973, the hall stood empty until the fateful September day in 1997, when fire ravaged the main building, leaving the empty shell that remains to this very day.
This is a very, very haunted place. It's branded as one of the most haunted places in the whole of Nottinghamshire. And there are so many different sites, so many places, that we're going to have our work cut out tonight. But it is an ideal ghost hunter's paradise. The place is more or less derelict. There was a fire which obviously burnt a lot of it down, and they've rebuilt the roof, but you can still see the remains, the charred remains of the staircases and the panelling. I have great expectations for this place. I think that things are definitely going to happen to us, because this has a good track record of hauntings.
Here in the dining room, paranormal activity is rife. A figure of a white lady is often seen here, along with the sounds of music playing when there's no one here at all. But perhaps most alarmingly is that of poltergeist activity. Objects have been lifted up and thrown across the floor. And in Byron's bedroom, many people have witnessed being pushed out of the room with a great force by unseen hands. A young girl hanged herself here in the laundry, and ever since then her ghost has been seen walking underneath the spot where she died.
The building's just behind me. I saw a figure at one of the windows when we were having a party one night. I'd been sent across for some champagne, and I saw this figure at the window come running back to Hall and said I'd seen someone in the mews. And of course they laughed and said, like I'd seen too many Dracula films. But I was told next day by the old fellas I work with, as there had been other people seeing this ghost here, and it was the ghost of a maid as hung herself and next to the old dairy.
This is the library room where many people would have spent hours reading and relaxing. To this day, people often hear the sound of murmuring, along with the strong smell of cigar smoke. Strange knocking and scraping noises are often heard down here in the cellar, as if someone is trying to attract attention.
Of course, there was the story related to the bones as were dug up, and they were putting electricity into the old hall. And of course, these bones were carbon dated back to 1600s, and there had been a maid missing at that particular time, and she had been heavily pregnant. I've heard her in there, people seen her and photoed her as though she sits outside a fireplace holding this baby as she never had.
So how does parapsychologist Kieran O'Keefe feel that our investigation will progress, given that the hall's grand appearance starkly contradicts its empty core?
When we investigate derelict properties, how does that differ with another property that has furniture in it, it's warm, it's got pictures on the wall?
In other locations you may get clues, you may get the paintings and the furniture, and it gives some indication of era, and it builds up a huge suggestion effect for the sort of ghosts that people think they actually see. In a derelict location like this, there isn't any suggestion effect in terms of furniture or any other clues. However, because it is derelict, because it is very old, and like you say, it just has that scary feel about it, there's another sort of suggestion effect kicking in. And I think it means that the adrenaline and just the fear factor of being here is going to be a lot higher than some of the other locations we've been in.
What about the stories of people have been harmed, you know, their faces have been scratched? What do you think to that?
I think that's really intriguing. One, because there aren't a lot of objects actually in here to be thrown, so maybe the focus of poltergeist activity is going to be interaction, so scratches, and I believe people have had their neck burnt or some red marks on their necks. So at least we're looking at some sort of physical evidence. If people do report being touched, if they do report any burning sensation, the camera would be able to pick that up, and that would be concrete evidence of some sort of poltergeist activity.
We have invited spiritualist medium Derek Akora and psychic David Wells to join us in Nottinghamshire. But what could we expect from the ruins that lie around us? And how much ancestral past would we encounter at Annesley Hall?
I was aware of it when I first come to this location of this like secrecy, and a moment ago I'm getting this, which has happened before, this like an intent of blockage.
That's not a good sign.
No, it's not. So, and when I say that, we've always experienced whenever this blockage comes in, it's like as if they're reserving their energy, okay, to really, really push for it when we're not expecting it. This is the type of group thought that's around us here now at the moment.
Where do you feel you want to go? Which direction?
Actually, I'd like to go into there, maybe, because I've not walked into there, but I seem to be drawn in there.
So when you feel drawn somewhere,
yes.
Is it a voice that's telling you to sort of come into this room?
Well, sometimes, you know, I can get that voice link, but 9 times out of 10, it's on the psychic level, it's like, it's, you know, pulling me to go. And since coming into this atmosphere, here we go, I'm getting someone, a gentleman, a spirit man, who I can't say whether he's active at this moment, but as we come into the energies, it could be coming from the residual. Without a doubt, the first name is William. There's no two ways about that. William. And I feel also there's ladies' energies here as well. Now, I'm getting also a lot of tears. And the William is if he's around the tears, and as if I would just want to walk round and say, oh, you know, stop it, you know, that sort of attitude from him, with the woman's tears.
Is it just one woman, or are there many?
No, I feel there's a group of women, but there's one woman who's absolutely bereft. She's absolutely distraught, and she can't settle because he took the child's life away. He killed the child. He slaughtered the child here. And she's not rested. She's not rested, and she wants everyone to know who did this.
What time period would you say this would have happened in?
Can you help me with that, Sam? Put it mentally to me. It looks like 1685. 1685. Yes. I get the name Isobel. Isabel.
And you think that's her?
Yes. Is that who she is? Isabel. Bella. Isabel. And she is up and down around the building, and she called him a beast. She's called him a beast for what he did. I feel this was a boy child.
Do you feel that this Isabel and William were married?
There was a connection, Ivy. That's all I can get at the moment. There was a connection with these two. And he blinded the boy.
He blinded him?
He blinded him first. Oh, my God. He took his eyes out. Oh, God, you barbaric.
Is this William got a surname?
I keep on asking him, but we'll get him.
Yeah.
We will get him.
Does he visit here, or is he gone?
He comes here.
So he does?
Yeah. I feel the torment of the lady that probably brings her back a lot. She died young. She died young.
Where do you want to move now?
Yes,
Because if we
can we
keep
just-
walking, you
yes,
might be able to
okay,
pick more
okay.
information up.
Every family